right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm super excited to share the next episode of Raising Your Real Estate IQ. And I'm really excited to talk with you, Melissa. We're going to talk about iBuyers, investors, options that you might not know exist when it comes to selling homes. So thanks for being on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everyone.
Yay. Okay, so the first topic of today is going to be, what is an iBuyer and why do sellers sometimes use them?
So an iBuyer, in the simplest sense of the word, is basically selling a home or real estate directly to an investor. You think of Zillow or Redfin or Opendoor or all of these huge corporate programs that have hit the marketplace where the home sellers can go directly to these large companies. They're bypassing the agents, but they're selling their home in as-is condition, and the investors are making a direct cash offer to them. So when most people hear iBuyer, that's what they're thinking of. They go on Zillow, what is my home worth? And then they end up requesting an offer. There's a second option for home sellers out there that still involves a real estate agent and still involves an investor, but it's in a more localized situation. So not only are the real estate agents able to still provide their benefit to the home sellers by being their agent, overlooking the paperwork and representing their best interest, but it also allows somebody in the community to come in and, purchase those homes, rehab, refurbish them, and then bring them back to market. So someone like me, who is a localized investor, I've been doing this now for 18 years. I've flipped over 4,500 homes. I am part of the community. I am part of, the agent network. I believe in the value that an agent brings. So there is a secondary iBuyer platform that really does exist in the marketplace that not a lot of people realize is there.
Yep. And I think some buyers or some sellers accidentally stumble onto it where they just are, looking at their home on Zillow. They get an email or something. They click on it. They're like, oh, see what my home is worth or get an offer. That's like literally the conglomerate, I guess, if you want to call it that, of Zillow.
Right.
They're trying to go direct. They're trying to bypass the opportunity of working with a realtor. And one of the things that just kind of irks me the most about it is people think, oh, great, I'll do this and I'll save on commission. I mean,
no,
what have you seen?
that's the case at all.
Yeah.
Read your contracts, people. There's like somewhere between 9 to 13% built into most of those contracts, and you don't see it. Those contracts are thick, and you don't have an agent or an attorney in most cases representing you. So they get away with murder.
Yeah. And I know who doesn't want to pay for fees that aren't necessary. Of course, every seller wants to make the most money. But
Right.
if you think about it, 9 to, would you say 12%?
Yeah, 9 to 13, I believe,
13.
in most of the contracts
Okay.
I've read. There's hidden fees up the yin-yang.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to these home sellers. If they were to come directly to you and you were to reach out to an investor such as me, we can write the contract where I'm paying, the real estate commissions, or I'm paying all the closing costs. So we can literally give them an all cash offer that could close in under a week. They don't have to fix their home. They don't have to do any repairs. It's, COVID in the middle of a pandemic right now. They don't have to have, groups and groups and groups of people and showings and people through their home if that's a concern. And it protects all of their interests and makes sure that they get the highest offer for their home possible. So I am a huge advocate of working through the real estate agents because there's a lot of ways that we can set it up. And in most cases, we're paying significantly more than those Zillows or Redfins or Opendoors are right now.
Mm-hmm. So this kind of leads me into our next point. What is the better solution to selling a home quickly that may need a lot of repairs? And maybe it doesn't need a lot of repairs either, and you just need to go quickly. But for sure, if you have a crack foundation and you're thinking, right, okay, how much money is that going to cost me out of pocket? I don't have that. What do I do? Sometimes people just get kind of shocked and they just don't do anything. And so if there's a need to sell, there's an option that doesn't exist, or that doesn't just limit you to, okay, well, Zillow will buy my house. It's like, no, let's look a little further. Let's get your representation. Let's keep it local to the extent that we can. And, kind of make it a win-win for everybody where we can negotiate terms and there's not, this contract. It's the standard real estate contract that California Association of Realtors has prepared, for us to use. And it's not like some attorney against you, single seller who knows nothing, about
if there's anything that goes wrong in that transaction, which does happen from time to time, If Zillow was to go back to that home seller and say, maybe something wasn't disclosed or something went wrong, you're literally a single homeowner that is now going up against a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and who's going to win? Whereas if you have representation, the agent is able to go through, walk through, make sure everything is completed, everything is disclosed, and everything is on the up and up. So it really reduces the home seller's liability, which is worth it right there. And then as far as repairs and stuff go, I mean, we've purchased things that are tear down and rebuilds. We've purchased things where the roof's caving in or the foundation is extremely bad. Unpermitted additions in the home. Maybe there was a leak or a flood or something that happened. And the biggest benefit in my eyes is we have our construction company. We pay wholesale fees or wholesale cost for all of these repairs. So if I'm going out and I'm redoing flooring and say it cost me $10,000, it's very likely it would cost that homeowner somewhere between $18,000 to $22,000. So even if they're going through and they're doing those repairs and you're completely redoing your whole house to bring it to market, chances are at the end of the day, you would have netted more selling it to an investor, because we look at what we can resell it for. We less out our construction costs, which are about 50% of what a retail homeowner would pay, and your net at the end of the day is greater than what it would be if you actually did the repairs yourself and took the property back to market. Additionally, we're covering those costs and fees, and we can do it extremely quickly without a bunch of people through the home. So it's a no-brainer, and it should be one of those things that most home sellers, regardless of the condition of the house, are really asking for both options. And that's the benefit of working with like you or another agent, is you guys can relay those options. You can really paint a picture. You guys can dig into the numbers and get into the weeds of their transaction and really let them know what is the best option for them at the end of the day. And a lot of times doing those repairs as a home seller isn't going to net them the most money. And if it does, it's going to be 30, 60, 90 days. And not only is there going to be a little bit of uncertainty in the marketplace coming up with everything that is, in front of us, but also they're making those mortgage payments. They have those carry costs. If you could do everything and net more in a week and save all of that, it's bringing a ton of value to your clients and people here in San Diego to just explore those options and see if it makes the most sense for them.
Exactly. That's great. And this is the third point, how can you actually make more money on the sale of your home? And that might be where we were talking about, exploring your options, not just like click, click, click. Next thing you know, you sold it to Zillow. You want to have good conversations. And as a realtor, like, I'm a resource for all of my friends and all of my clients and all of my family. So if there's ever anything that you guys need, or you're just kind of curious to dig a little bit deeper, like, we don't have to commit to anything to explore the possibility. We can talk about it and just, get figures, get ideas, get timelines. And it doesn't have to be 7 days or 15 days, right? It could be longer if necessary.
It's really at the home seller's discretion. I mean, we can close in, extremely quickly. I've done transactions same day. Not ideal, but when the necessity arises, I mean, we ideally like, 7 to 10 days. That works best. That allows us, the normal process to get through everything. But we are really here to assist you and your home sellers. So if they need 30, 60 days, if they want to put a contract into escrow and sell their property and look for a place to move, we can wait for them to relocate and close on their next purchase. So it's a benefit to the home sellers themselves, so that they can set up a transaction and they can sell the property on their terms, doing what they want. They're not forced into any one little box, because that one little box doesn't work for everybody. So it's really the options that make a huge difference for these home sellers.
Yep. And let's talk, before we wrap up, on one more topic that is really relevant, I think, to the times. Some people have rentals and they have tenants right now that aren't paying, and there's some restrictions that have been put in place now. So how might, knowing you or having a connection through me to an investor like you, like, how could that help a seller in a predicament where they can't afford the mortgage because their tenant's not paying, that maybe it's in forbearance that's coming up soon, it's all kind of piling up and they don't know what to do?
So that is something that I've seen more and more of. Given COVID and the current state of the market, the pandemic, everything, there is a moratorium on evictions right now. And you have, an insane amount of people that are currently on unemployment, or their businesses can't open, and it's a very unfortunate situation. And we are investors with a heart, so to speak. We are very, very sensitive to not only those tenants but also to the home sellers. So we're able to go in there, whether it's negotiating cash for keys or taking on the tenants and just dealing with them after the close of escrow, whatever it may be. Most of the transactions I'm getting through right now are home sellers that just don't know what to do. They feel like they're at a loss. They have these tenants in there. They can't get them out. They know that they want to sell the property. They think it's the top of the market. They want to get top dollar, but they don't know that they can actually sell with those tenants in place to an investor like me. And that's a huge help to those home sellers, whether or not they want to roll it over, do a 1031, reinvest, take advantage of low interest rates right now. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. And when you have very, very well-educated agents such as yourself, you can walk them through that process. You can show them what their options are. And sticking in a bad investment where they're throwing good money after bad, month after month, we don't know when this is going to end. But this is what I do for a living. Most of these people, that's not what they do for a living. So it's definitely something we can take on. I can buy properties sight unseen, although it's not ideal. We would like to get in there, have a conversation with the tenants, walk the property, do a quick inspection. But it really takes us less than an hour to be in and out of a property, and we can let a home seller know exactly what they're looking at. And they can call me on a Monday and have it closed by Friday and have all of that money in their account and not worry about those tenants anymore. So that's a huge, huge value to them. And the other thing I wanted to touch on real quick, if we do go out to a property and we walk it in, there is repairs, and the home seller decides, you know what, I don't want to go this route, I want to do the repairs ourselves, I can always pass all of our purveyors and all of our contacts through you onto the home seller so that they're getting the best prices, and we can give them some guidance, because you don't want to spend money on something that's not going to be a payback. It's not going to be a good investment for a repair. I have people that go through and do this really expensive flooring or do all of these things, and they're not getting that return back. So not only can we be a resource to purchase the properties, I'm also a huge resource through agents like you to kind of give them some guidance and let them know, this is really what you should be doing. And by the way, here's my contractor, here's my flooring person, or here's my plumber, so that they're not paying those astronomical amounts just as a regular retail buyer. It just opens up their options and allows them to make a very educated decision on what makes the most sense for them and their family.
Yep, exactly. I think that's such a great thing, just to know that no matter what, a conversation that is with you can end in multiple ways where the seller still benefits. So
totally. And I mean, much like if you think of selling a car, most people aren't going to list it on Auto Trader or Craigslist or anywhere else. And, people aren't going to come over and test drive the car. And although it does happen on occasion these days, most people will drive it into the dealership, they'll get a wholesale offer, and they'll drive off the lot with a new car. iBuying is exactly the same thing. Your time and money, especially in this day and age, is worth something. You have decision overload. People are stressed. This is a very weird time in the world right now. And sometimes just that ease of getting something done is worth maybe an extra $1,000 or two just to be done with it and move on, and to have that money in the account, like I said, and maybe buy something else while interest rates are low. The options are really endless, and what it comes down to is really just people that think that they don't have options, or their tenants aren't performing, or their house is in awful condition. There are options for everybody. It's just a matter of reaching out to agents like you and really exploring their options.
Exactly. So that's perfect. Well, overall, we've talked about, what iBuyer is and why maybe the Zillow approach or Open Door or Redfin or whatever it is might not be the best, that there are hidden fees that can far exceed whatever you were going to pay a realtor. Plus, you don't have the, the support and the guidance through the process of the transaction, that there are options out there for local investors who aren't just going to be screwing everybody over, that you'll have the chance to know what it looks like. You don't have to go through some big, crazy, complex situation. It's just simply give an hour and, have an option or two. And that in the end, that as a seller with a distressed property, or even one that they just need to sell quickly, that this is an option that they have, which is so simple and can really just kind of help get on to the next chapter in life.
It's a very powerful tool, and the fact that you are even doing this interview and trying to get this message out to people, especially right now for everything we're going through, it's really a no-brainer. And even if you maybe don't want to sell your house, or you don't think you want to sell your house, still reach out. I mean, this is what you and I do for a living, and we can get out there and we can walk through it and we can let you know your options. And it's just a very, very powerful tool that most home sellers don't realize is available for them right now. And it's not scary, and it's not in your face, and it allows them to sell their home on their terms exactly the way they want to.
Yep, exactly. Great. Well, thanks so much again for the time. I think this is
Of
super
course.
helpful, and I'm really excited to get the word out. And of course, for everyone watching, as always, you guys know I'm a realtor here in San Diego. If ever anything comes up and you could use some help, please feel free to reach out. Or if you're interested in what we talked about today and you want to explore those possibilities, feel free to reach out. My information's in the post in which this is showing, and I'll be really looking forward to being a resource. So have a great rest of the day, everyone.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having me.
having me. Yes, thanks for being here. Take care. Bye.
I am so glad that you watched all the way to this point in the video because I'm happy to help raise your real estate IQ. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I wanted to take a moment to invite you to check out the description below for helpful resources and to download a guide that can include things like tips and checklists to make planning for your move even easier. It's honestly never too early to get started. If you like this video, please be sure to hit subscribe and turn on the bell so that you can get notified when we share new real estate videos each Thursday. You'll also want to check out the thumbnails that are about to pop up on the screen for other videos that we've custom made for you on this channel. And as always, this info is for people everywhere, but if you're looking to make a move to the San Diego area, I'd be happy to be a resource. You'll find my contact info in the description below. So have a great day, and I hope that you love where you live. See you guys in the next video.